You too. Get in Hawaii mode. Yeah.
Hawaii, whoop whoop. Well, welcome everybody to our team call. And it feels like a month since I've been online with you guys. And I'd like to say that I've missed you all, but I missed that you weren't in Santorini and Athens with us because we've just had the most amazing trip. So I thought I would get Kerry to actually share from a first timer's perspective, because as you guys know, like I've been on 35 trips with DreamTrips now. And so, not that it's ho-hum, because this was my dream trip, which is absolutely amazing. But I think it's also nice to hear from someone who actually hadn't been on a trip before to get that firsthand perspective. So Kez, I know you had no idea really what to expect. So I'm not going to preempt anything. I'm just going to let you share let's kick off with what was the unexpected part about the dream trip. Like, what was it about the dream trip that made it great that maybe you hadn't expected going into it?
Okay, so because there were so many good parts to it, but I guess the real unexpected was when we first got there. We had a welcome dinner, so of course everybody's getting dressed. We had drinks, and we walk into the dinner area, which is beautiful. And we sit at these big tables, and there's probably about 20 people on each table. So I think Eamon and I walked in, and we sat at a table, and there's people around us, and we didn't know any of them. And our first, I think we both looked at each other and went, "Oh my God, here we go!" Like we're sitting with a group of strangers, like like not our favorite place to be right now, but the people that were on the trip were absolutely amazing. So we sat at that first dinner, we made friends immediately, we laughed, we joked, we met people from America, from Africa, some quite influential people from DreamTrips that were sitting two up from me that I didn't even know that I became friends with, and they were just so unassuming. But we had the best night. So the biggest unexpected favorite thing about the trip was the people and the friendships and just that community that you don't know that is going to come into your life, and to walk away with these amazing people after 4 days that you feel that you want to call friends for life. And Eamon, met this gorgeous couple, and they were playing pickleball. We didn't even know what pickleball was. Like, we got tennis rackets and balls, and he loved it. Like, we really just loved the people that we met and the friendships and the fun. It was so unexpected. It was amazing.
Oh, that's so good, Kez. And what is pickleball? So it's a sport that you play with a bat and a ball, or a pickle.
A little bit like tennis, but it's portable, so you can actually bring the rackets and the ball with you, and it's a bigger ball.
Yeah.
And
kind of between table tennis and tennis, I would say, would be the best.
It's huge in America. We're going to bring pickleball to Riverdance.
Yeah. It's
huge. Yeah. Never heard of
it. And so Kerry, I'll also get you to expand, like, obviously the people are what make DreamTrips. It's a big part of it, right?
But it's also the seamlessness. Like you get to the airport after your big flight, and there's somebody there waiting for you, and you get taken in an air-conditioned vehicle, and then the tour reps that are there to help you get sorted. They find you your rooms, they give you information, they tell you where to be. So from the time you get off the plane, you've got someone helping you. You get taken to this beautiful resort, made to feel welcome, given all your information, so you immediately feel at ease. So the whole experience, once you get off the plane, was just seamless, and everyone was so beautiful. And Michael and Katie were there, and they were taking photos, and it was exciting, but it was easy. And then you couldn't wait to get to your room, and the room was beautiful. And then you knew where to go for your welcome drinks, and it was just, everything was just so easy, and I loved that about it. So I didn't expect to have it to be so well organized, and to have that taken away from you, to know that when you just turn up somewhere and everything is done for you, and you know where to have your breakfast, you've got a map that tells you where to be. It was great. It was so easy.
I love that you share that, Kez. And let's now, obviously you were away for a month, so you had a massive trip, and your dream trip was kind of smack bang in the middle of it. So as a comparison for everybody who hasn't, because Lee has obviously been on 5 dream trips in Europe a couple of years ago. So there's 3 of us that have been on dream trips, but for everybody else and everybody watching the replay, how would you say that compared the dream trip component to the parts that weren't a dream trip? Because you've traveled extensively, Eamon's traveled extensively.
Yeah.
What would you say was the difference between the dream trip and non-dream trip travel?
I guess because, you know, like the big bonus is having these airport lounges. Honestly, like if you get that
They are
private
the
membership,
bomb.
look, and so, you know, I'm engaged to an Irishman, so their bars are empty when I leave those lounges, I'm telling you, right? So he friggin' loves them. But to be able to walk in, have a comfy seat, have food and drinks at every airport, that's the biggest thing.
That works.
Oh, I friggin' love it.
Beautiful, clean bathrooms, not the
Yes.
airport bathrooms. Yeah.
Oh, and look, not just, you know, like, and you can pick different lounges, like where you look at where you're going to land, and you look at your terminal and you pick what's closest to you, and it tells you how to get there. Like it's fantastic. But when you're not on a dream trip and you get to a new place and you're wandering around the airport because there's no one there to meet you, then you've got to work out, do you get an Uber, do you get a taxi, what's the cheapest way? Then like when we got to Dubai, there was taxis, but there were also other people saying, I can take you, and they would double the money. So if you didn't know your way around, it was very easy to be taken advantage of if you were a first-time traveller.
Yeah.
So I think that was the hardest part. And then, of course, you know, you're hoping somebody does take you to your hotel and you end up there. That's the first thing. And then, you know, of course, you don't know your way around. So you've then got to work out your own tours. You've got to work out what's the best price. And thank God we've got the concierge, because that was amazing with getting us discounts. But that was, you know, when you compare having everything organised to doing everything on your own, if you love doing that, that's fine. But it was a lot more worry trying to work out, you know, how to do everything like that rather than just being taken on a dream trip.
Yeah, I love that, Kerry. And so I want to share a couple of stories that happened while we were away. So there was a beautiful lady that Kerry and I met. Her name's Wendy, and she's from the US. And so this poor woman on the way to the trip, first and foremost, her boyfriend gets turned away at the airport because he didn't have the right, visa.
Passport. Yes.
So her partner couldn't even come on the trip to start with. Then when she arrived, her luggage did not arrive. So this poor woman, could you just imagine if she wasn't on a dream trip? You know, she's on the other side of the world on her own without her partner and with no luggage. So her whole world has just fallen apart. And she's arrived, and straight away the host was able to just immediately say, we'll take care of the luggage, like we'll chase that up and sort all of that. But here was the magic of the community, and Kerry, I'll get you to share around this as well. Like everybody literally opened their suitcases and everyone just gave her stuff, like, you know, just clothes and, you know, toothpaste and all the stuff. And I've got goosebumps sharing this, guys. So Wendy and I, so she did the Santorini trip, and she also extended on and did the Athens trip with us. And I had a chance on our free day before we came home. Wendy and I actually went and explored Athens together. And with tears in her eyes, she'd never been on a dream trip before. She was, you know, brand new member. She just said it was the best trip. And she was actually, by the end of it, so grateful that her partner wasn't on the trip, and so grateful that she had lost her luggage, because that had actually just really contributed to the trip and her experience. But the community, and, you know, again, just piggybacking on what Kerry had said, you know, the people in our community are just the most beautiful people in the world. And yeah, did you want to share anything else around that, Kez?
No, look, she was just delightful, and she was so grateful. And, you know, I think, you know, also just seeing the generosity of everybody on that trip, that brought everybody closer, I think, actually.
Yeah, it certainly did. It certainly did. And Kerry, I'll get you to share around, because Pete actually has to work back tonight, so he couldn't be on. I really wanted Pete to share his testimonial as well. And look, from my perspective, when I met Pete at the beginning of this year, for me, it was like he had died inside. He'd just given up that, you know, he wasn't going to be able to travel. And he just, you know, signed up to the Groundhog Day of I'm going to work my ass off and maybe one day, someday I'll get to do a trip. And honestly, it was like seeing a kid at Christmas time. It's like I just saw him before my eyes come alive. And already he's like a different person. Like, you know, and he made all these, he had an instant circle of friends. Like here, you know, Pete doesn't have a huge circle of friends. He's got some really close, you know, a very small circle of really quality friends. But to just, and he's like, oh my gosh, like, and same as Kerry, the people are amazing. And same thing, the day I went and did an Athens Explore adventure with Wendy, he went off with another couple and they did like another day trip with the driver that had all been organized through our host and DreamTrips, because they suggested where to go and what to do. So it's, for me, like, I absolutely love DreamTrips, and for me, I fell back in love with DreamTrips all over again. It was just like, oh, it's just the absolute best. But the real gift for me was to be able to share this with my bestie and see Kerry and Eamon have such a great time, but also to be able to share this gift with Pete, and just to see him come alive and be so excited, to the point that before he left, he's got 2 adult sons who weren't even interested, like, don't even talk to me about this bloody travel thing that you're doing. And now one of his sons wants to sign up, and he's so excited because he's seen the change in his dad, and his dad's already talking about, you know, now going to the US next year. So it really, I know that it's, we say it all the time, and it sounds cliche, but this really is such a beautiful blessing that we get to share with people. And of course, I'm so excited to be heading to Hawaii. I think we've got, like, I saw, Jeff, your post day is like 18 days away. So with Lee and Jeff, it's going to be another amazing trip. So Kerry, is there any other words of advice that you would share with anyone within the team who hasn't yet been on a dream trip?
No, look, I think the reality is that, you know, we all joined because, you know, we knew that the opportunity of dream trips. We knew that it was great to travel. Everybody wants to travel, but until you experience a dream trip, until you actually get on one and see the value of it. And I know, Kylie, you said this to me on the trip, it's like being with a VIP, you know, part of a golf club. Like, you pay a membership to have these additions, to have these inclusions, to have these perks. Everything that we got on that dream trip was worth every cent of our membership. And 100%, I'll be telling everybody that it's absolutely 100% worth it. But you don't understand that until you've been on a dream trip. And I've got people messaging me every day from America, like, we want to go to Colorado. You know, these friends, these friendships, the mentors that you meet, you know, the really humble people that are great in the business, this is all part of it. That's part of your membership. You won't get that anywhere else but somewhere like DreamTrips. So people need to understand that's what you're paying for. This whole experience was absolutely amazing. I think everybody has to do it.
I love it. I love your passion, Kerry. It's like, and we all know Kerry was happy, positive, excited, and passionate before that Kerry went on a dream trip. So Kerry's just like next level now, which is amazing. And guys, just around the people side of things, like, you know, Kerry mentioned that there were some really successful people. There were people from all walks of life, all ages, all races, all cultures, all, you know, everyone was represented. But that commonality is, you know, we're fun, we're adventurers, you know, we're positive, we're happy. And when I actually arrived, my flight into Santorini landed 30 minutes before Kerry and Eamon. So we saw them for like 2 minutes at Athens airport, and then when we arrived and our host greeted us, I said, listen, I know that we've already got the transfers organized to go in. Is it possible for us to stay back half an hour and actually come in with Kerry and Eamon? And first of all, it was like nothing was a problem. It's like, yeah, sure. Like, it just wasn't an issue, which was amazing. But I'm sitting there at the airport in Santorini. Like, this is a dream holiday destination for pretty much most people. I would say 98% of people on the planet, right? And I'm watching these people come off the plane who were not on a dream trip, and they weren't smiling. They looked really sad. And I felt like I just wanted to go up and like welcome them and say, smile, you're in Santorini. But no, not our dream trippers. As soon as a dream tripper comes, there's the dream trip son, and there's, you know, it's just, you really feel like you are such a VIP. It's amazing. And then again, you know, at the resort, as Kerry shared, like, you know, dream trippers, like we were the party people, like everyone's just fun and having such a great time. And you look over to the rest of the normal people who've paid the full price to be there. Maybe that's why they were sad, because they paid full price. They didn't get the VIP extras at the discounted price that we did. And again, they just looked miserable. I'm like, my gosh, people, like you're on holidays. So again, it's really hard to be able to explain that without experiencing it. So I think the key, of course, as we keep saying, like book a trip, book a trip, book a trip. And just I'm so grateful for, you know, being part of this community. I'm so grateful to Mark and Tammy for essentially resurrecting this company, because it really is about making dreams come true. And, you know, I asked Pete what he loved about the trip the most, and he echoed exactly what you said, Kerry. Like it was the people, and that everything was just seamless and organized. You just could not believe it. And I said to him, you know, what was your favorite out of Santorini and Athens? And he just looked at me and he said, I didn't think either of these were possible for me. So for me, like this, it really was a dream come true. So I just wanted to be able to share that. So does anyone have any questions? Is there anything that you'd like to know from Kerry or I about the actual dream trip experience? Everyone's gone shy now. Thanks, Ange. Yes, we're very, I'm not going to say I'm happy. I am happy to be back, because I live in paradise anyway. It's amazing here. But it was so beautiful. It was an amazing, amazing trip.
I didn't realize that I was actually off. What do you call it? Sorry, I had a family emergency thing to deal with, so I've only just jumped on. But welcome back. I loved you guys' photos. And hey, I'm disappointed. Where's your what's it called?
My flying dress. So okay, so now let me give you the behind the scenes story. So the day before we left, the day before we finished our Santorini trip, the weather turned shit. So we were supposed to go out on a day catamaran, which we're really excited about. And I got really sick. So I was actually spent my last day of Santorini in bed sick, and my first day in Athens in bed sick. So I missed the farewell party of the blue party of Santorini, which I was devastated about, and the welcome party in Athens. But I still got on all the tours, and it was still an amazing, amazing trip. But yes, unfortunately, we didn't get to make that happen. But that just means we need to go back. So it's okay.
I knew there had to be some reason why it wasn't up there, but that's no good. Well, at least you had a good time all the other days you weren't sick.
Yeah, and look, around photos, like I'm glad that you asked me about that. Honestly, one of the things that they teach you in the Discover training, so on the first full day of the trip, they did the Discover training. And I know that there's a few of you who are ex-WV who've been part of the World Ventures training. Like, the training was completely different. It was so awesome. It was so fun. It was like short, quick, and we were out on a day tour of Santorini. Like, it was so good the way they put it together. And it was really about understanding the product, but how to share the product while you're on holidays. Now, Pete, who had not signed up a person before he left, just by being on the trip, going to that little training, learning how to take photos, learning how to post, what to post, when to post, to really leverage social media, but in a non-salesy, spammy way. Like, Pete is not a social media person, and Pete had people reaching out to him and, you know, basically asking him about DreamTrips. And like, to him, that was just like, oh my gosh, it works. Like, this is so easy. And I think sometimes from the business building side of things, you know, people can overcomplicate it versus it really is experience the product, share the product, and then help others to be able to experience the product. And really that's it in a nutshell. I've lost count now, but I think I'm up to about 12 different people who've asked me for information about DreamTrips while I was away, who are really, really keen to be able to get started. And, you know, some of those just want to travel. Some of them, you know, are really keen for the business, and some are a combination of both. And again, it really is so simple when you just go on a holiday and you take pictures and you share the experience. So yeah, Alison, and you're not alone, darling. Like, I think everybody's the same. And for me, like, just going back and experiencing DreamTrips again, it gave me so much clarity of how freaking simple and fun and easy this business really is.
Yeah.
And you know, I think as soon as it starts to feel hard or awkward, it's because you've stopped having fun, and you actually just need to go on a, you know, a dream trip and experience it for sure. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the elements of DreamTrips as well, because again, like, even though I've been on DreamTrips and, you know, I've been doing this for years, sometimes you just forget things. And so, you know, even the airport transfers, like, they were so super simple. It was literally a matter of logging into the back office and sending through the flights to concierge. And they picked, like, Dubai Airport. If you guys haven't been to Dubai Airport, holy crap, like, it is not a place for the faint-hearted. It is fucking huge. It's like a city with hundreds of thousands of people in there. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's horrible there. I didn't like it there. I had to run all the way to my my next gate, and it felt like I had to run to attach it.
So note to self for everybody, if you're going to have a layover in Dubai Airport, make sure it's at least 3 hours, because you're going to need it. But as Kerry said, because we just submit our flight details through to concierge, they pick the lounge that's right next to your departure gate. Now, it was 5,000 steps, because I had my little Fitbit on. It was exactly 5,000 steps from our flight from Brisbane to Dubai, where we got off the arrivals in Dubai Airport, to where our departure gate was. Like, that was insane to be able to do that. So yeah, absolutely crazy. But as Kerry said, the VIP lounge that we had the access passes to, like, we literally walked downstairs and our gate was right there. So it just made it so smooth and simple. In the lounge, when you arrive, like, you give them your boarding pass, so then they make sure that they come and tell you, like, they know how far it is that you've got to go and when to leave. So then you can literally just walk out and walk straight onto the flight, which just makes it so much easier. It was just the VIP airport passes were the bomb. And you get 3 hours in the lounge prior to your departure, and that's unlimited everything. So food, drinks, alcohol. The one at Athens, you could pour your own. There were, like, people with, like, huge buckets of, like, what do you call it? Baileys. Just, like, pouring these huge big drinks of Baileys. And the food was really nice as well. Like, it was just amazing. So yeah. And to be able to have a shower and freshen up as well, like, in the layover in Dubai, like, it was just, yeah, definitely worth it being a priority member for sure. So that was a very cool extra to be able to have that on the trip. So Kerry also mentioned, like, how everything was just seamless. So one of the things that you have as part of your dream trip is we have a host. And so that host is there to make everything seamless. And I mean, if you think about, and especially for those of you who are on the call who are parents, like, when you travel with kids, like, there's a lot of, like, it's hard enough when you travel on your own, but when you've got kids, like, the amount of organizing and stuff that needs to be done, and to know that your host takes care of everything, you know, and even they set themselves up, like, they've got, like, a little host desk, so you can actually go and ask them questions. So if you want to go into town, or if you're wanting to do extra tours, like, they just take care of everything for you. And as Kerry said, you don't have to worry about, well, should I trust this person? I'm being ripped off, because everything is just organized for you. And so to have that VIP treatment, like it takes away so much of the stress and the anxiety and, you know, some of those negative emotions that, you know, the overwhelm and for a lot of people who are worried about traveling, the fear. You know, you don't have to worry about from a safety perspective, because you know that everything's taken care of. The other thing that really blew me away, and again, I've been on DreamTrips before, so I should know this, but, you know, when you book your own accommodation versus when you go on DreamTrips, like where we stayed in Athens, literally a couple of 100 meters down the road was where the Prime Minister lived. And the actual rooftop restaurant had 360-degree views of Athens. And, you know, it was voted the best view in Europe for the luxury VIP travel awards. Like, it's just amazing to just know that they are putting us in the best places, in the best location, and maybe not the biggest or the best, but definitely the most unique, to get a truly amazing experience. And same with Santorini. Like, we just walked down into Fira, or up into Fira. If you go to Santorini, my tip for everybody, ditch the heels, just take sneakers, because I promise you do not want to have heels in Santorini. Or little behind the scenes tip, if you're going to do a Katie Catlow and take photos with heels, they just pop the heels in her bag and then they just pop them on for the photo, and then they ditch them and back to the sneakers. So just little hot tip there. Definitely want to have your sneakers in Santorini, not heels. All right, Kez, have I covered everything? What else? I think you're muted still, babe. Kerry's still muted. That's all right. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Kerry? I can see you're trying to unmute.
I got it now.
There we go.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, you know, besides the whole DreamTrips experience that was incredible, that the savings we made booking our hotels on our trip outside of DreamTrips, Eamon miscalculated one night in New York, so we needed 4 nights in New York instead of 3. When we booked it through DreamTrips, they were $217 a night. That was US converted. When we had to stay an extra night in the same hotel, it was $420.
Wow, that's amazing.
So when you think about the savings, like when we think about how much money we've saved on our hotels, what the concierge did for us on our trip, because we were away for 28 days, you add all that up, that membership that we're paying, like I keep coming back to it adding value. You know, when you think about this being a travel club, those benefits outweigh what you're paying for your membership. It's worth every cent.
Yeah.
It was a real eye-opener for us, because when we had to go back and not book through DreamTrips, everything was much more expensive.
Yeah. No, awesome. Oh, Lee, just before you go, Lee, just wanted to say a massive thank you to you and Jeff for running the calls while we were away. So really appreciate you. And I'm so excited to go to Hawaii with you in a few weeks.
You're so welcome, and I'm so excited. 18 days or whatever my calendar says right now.
18 days. Amazing.
Let's see. 18 days, 10 hours, 29 minutes and 45 seconds, guys.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Countdown is on.
Yeah, definitely the countdown is on. And I'm so excited. I got everything sorted. Airport transfers. The only thing I couldn't do was my terminal in Honolulu. We didn't have access to that lounge, but that's okay. I got access to the Auckland one, so I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't actually been to the Auckland lounge access before. Flown so many times and never been there. So I am super excited for that.
Wow.
And congratulations, Kerry. And I'm sorry about your mum. I hope she's doing okay. And lovely to have you guys back. And yeah, I'm sorry, I've got to go and see my team and make sure they pack up and everything. So love to you all, and we'll speak to you all soon. And thanks to Jeff, Ange, and everyone who jumped on the call as well to help make that a really awesome call. So take care, everyone.
Yeah, well done, you guys. Thanks, Lee.
Awesome. Thanks,
All
Lee.
right, take care. Bye-bye.
Well, guys, that wraps up our call for tonight anyway. So just reminder for the week. So Thursday night at 6 p.m. Queensland time, I'll be doing a live presentation. So please, please, please invite guests to jump on. Friday morning, 7 a.m., we have our updates call. For those of you who are on TikTok, really exciting. DreamTrips is about to launch on TikTok so that we can be up with the trends and the newest, latest social media, which is really exciting. And I believe on Friday morning, they are launching a brand new, big, huge DreamTrip, Discovery DreamTrip. So we're all excited to hear about that on Friday morning. And lastly, after Hawaii, the Catlows will be coming to Oceania. So they're going to be doing a 3 to 4 month launch tour of Australia and New Zealand. We have 4 Aussie dream trips that are currently being put together, which is really exciting. And the Catlows will be hosting all of those trips. So it'll be awesome for each and every one of you to actually meet the Catlows. So you can get really excited about that because they're beautiful people. And and just going back to that training, learning how to take the photos, because all of us dream trippers can now take epic, amazing photos. You feel like a rock star because everyone takes the photos for you. So it's, that in itself, I know I'm the selfie queen, but it was really nice to have some full shot photos and different photos instead of just all the traditional little selfies that I normally do. So so that was really cool too. So awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. Have an amazing week. Invite for Thursday night. I promise to show up and bring my A game. And I just need you to invite guests. So we'll see you all online on Thursday night. Mwah. And thanks, Kerry, for sharing. Appreciate you. I know you're not feeling 100%, so I really appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Welcome
Alrighty.
back. And congratulations, Kerry. And I hope your mum's feeling better. And have a great week, everyone. See you guys on Thursday. Hopefully with guests.
Thanks, Ange. Thanks, everyone, for jumping on. Mwah. See ya.
Thanks, Annie. Bye.
Bye.